So the other week I did a video on the MOT, the test in the UK that basically determines whether your car is road legal. If it passes, all great, you can go driving away. But if you fail, oh no, there's something wrong. You need to do something about that. Now, I covered what actually happens when you fail your test and answered some questions relating to that, basically, whether you can drive your car away and stuff like that. So go check out that video if you haven't already, of course. Now, something that I might have mentioned in that video is that basically you don't have to have an MOT test if your vehicle is under 3 years of age. Now that's the case for Great Britain, England, Scotland and Wales, I believe, but the exception to that in the United Kingdom is that of Northern Ireland. In Northern Ireland, apparently you only need to do this if your car is over the age of 4 rather than 3. Now, there is something going on when it comes to the MOT over in Northern Ireland, and it's basically whether the test, instead of being held annually, should be held biannually, once every 2 years instead of once every year. Now, there's a few different aspects to this. I don't know what I want to say on this in terms of whether I agree with this or disagree. Now, personally, for me, in my limited experience of having an MOT test, I mean, my car was new that I have now when I bought it. It's not had an MOT yet because it's under 3 years old. Before that, I had a very unreliable Hyundai i10, and yeah, I absolutely love that thing to bits. But like I've said many times here on the motoringchronicle.com, it's, it used to break a lot. It used to break a lot. It was in the garage every other month. Not for MOTs, just for general repairs. And my big criticism of the MOT personally, and I would assume this is the same for Northern Ireland as what it is in England in terms of what is tested. My big criticism really is that, yeah, you have this test done, but it doesn't test everything, because I actually did fail initially, but it was some really minor things that they just fixed there and there pretty much, and it was all done by the end of the day. But I was in the garage again within a month because something else had broken, and I was like, how the hell did you guys not spot this when you were doing your MOT of this car? And they just said, well, we don't test that on the MOT. I can't remember what it was now. I have it in my head it was the battery, but I feel like they must have tested them. There were that many repairs I had done on that car that, yeah, unfortunately, it's really hard to remember which one it was. But it's an interesting one here because at the end of the day, the MOT is not all-encompassing. It is not perfect. It does not mean that your car's going to be hunky-dory for another year. It could break very quickly. Even without an accident or something serious happening, that can happen quite comfortably because, again, like I said, it doesn't test everything when it comes to this. So that's an argument against the MOT. There's the cost aspect as well, which doesn't help in the grand scheme of things. Owning a car with insurance, petrol, other maintenance costs, MOTs are not really that much, to be honest. I mean, what they cost, like £100 or something like that for an MOT, which I'm not saying is a small amount of money, but compared to actually owning a car, you could spend that in a couple months in petrol easily. You could spend that in a month in insurance easily, depending on what car you have. So in the grand scheme of things, the finance aspect of it isn't that much of one. But it's interesting what Northern Ireland are wanting to do here. They've basically launched a consultation on whether the MOT test for some private cars, i.e. personal cars, not just cars that are used publicly, not vehicles that are used publicly, police cars, buses. I don't know how those things are tested. I imagine they have some sort of MOT as well, to be honest. But basically, regular road users, they're just wanting to know whether it should be 1 or every 2 years. So the consultation is going to run now for 12 weeks. It started last Monday and will continue to run until the 16th of April. So we're going to see what happens in terms of this. I don't know what exactly they're going to test, but it's just giving them an opportunity to see how many MOTs are conducted. Think about the things like the road safety, the environmental impact, insurance premiums, because I believe your car's MOT record, it affects how much your insurance is going to be, which does make sense because it's like, well, if your car's failing MOTs all the time, it's more likely to break down, therefore your insurance is going to go up. I've spoken about insurance here in the UK as well recently, which is a bit of a joke, to be honest, but that is a topic for a separate discussion, which I've already had, so check that out if you've not already, of course. But yeah, what do you guys think? Do you think that the MOT test in the entire UK should be changed from once every 1 year to once every 2 years? I know there's a good amount of people out there that thinks that MOT should not be a thing, and that's a separate discussion. Maybe I can give my thoughts on that. But to be honest, I don't think it's that bad, the MOT, in the grand scheme of things. I feel like there's much worse problems in the UK when it comes to car ownership and general motoring, to be honest. But what do you guys think? Keep it every year or have it every 2 years? And of course, when Northern Ireland decides whether it's going to change it or not, I'll be here to cover it here on the motoringchronicle.com as always. But yeah, see you soon, guys. If you want to see some more content like this on the world of motoring, do keep it tuned here. Like, share, comment, subscribe. See you soon, guys. Have a good one.